Yes, everybody, what's going on? My name is Stephen Howson, and this is United Review, joined by our kid Alex. All right. I've been better, I'm going to be honest with you. It was not what I wanted today.
No, it was kind of what we all, not expected, but we kind of worried. I think we were like...
Feared,
yeah. We were positive after the last few games, but still like, this is the kind of game where we just don't score goals and just kind of get bored out of the game. It
wasn't because they sat back, though. I think you have to give Everton their due. They didn't sit back.
No, I think
they pressed us high and stopped us passing through them.
I think in the second half they definitely started to sit back. But I think them first 30 minutes not taking the chances was massive because we got them behind a lot early on, and I'm like, this is what we want, a frantic game going end to end. And then
because it suits us.
We wanted it going all over the place.
And we had the chances, and we didn't fucking take
Jesse could have scored within 40 seconds.
15, wasn't it?
Whatever it was. First kick of the game, really. And then after that was it, kind of thing. As soon as it got settled, started to get into us possessing the ball, we just never looked like scoring, really.
No, it's that passing through the lines and
lacking that player.
Yeah, just lacking a player that can do it. And as good as Fred and McTominay have been, I think both of them were good today.
They weren't bad.
There just isn't an X factor about either of them, I don't think.
And I was on the watch along, and Jesse got a lot of stick, but I don't think this is the kind of game for Jesse. I don't think this was ever going to be the kind of game. I think they were hoping that he'd just kind of ride on the wave of him playing well. And, he played well in the last two games. We come out of the blocks fast and maybe score early, which they had the chance to do, which he could have done. But after that, when he got in that possession, it's not his kind of game. It's not his kind of game to try and thread that ball through, is it?
No. Although, like you said, he knitted it all right together when there was space in that first couple of minutes, but after that, it was pretty ineffective. This is in partnership with the geezers at Betfair, and we'll be having a look at what might have won a bit later on. Did I have 1-0 Rashford? I can't remember what I had. What did I have?
I think you had a Rashford.
I had 2-0 United for one.
Yeah. Then you had a lay bet, didn't you?
Yeah, I did lay.
Everton to win.
Do you know what? I was right when that one did come in. So I've won a fiver.
Yeah.
I laid Everton to win, which is I get the win on the draw. So at least that's come in. My first goal scorer one hasn't come in, and my correct score one hasn't come in, unfortunately.
No.
We're going to have a look a little bit what actually might have won. But let's have a look at some of the stats and see how everyone got on then. So match stats there, 24 shots. That's enough, innit? That's enough.
Scored more than one goal for that, shouldn't we?
And I think that's where you can say the manager set the team up to be able to attack now.
Yeah.
If you have 60-odd% possession and 24 shots, that's enough. And that's where I don't get people that are going to give the manager a bit of grief on this one. So 24 shots, that was enough. 8 on target, that's also enough.
Yeah.
And there was a couple that was this close wide.
Yeah.
Which should be on target.
The first three chances were Lingard was off target.
Yeah.
Dan James broke through off target. And Rashford
that he dragged.
So they're not even on target. And they're probably our best three chances in the first half.
Very likely to be. So, and then Marcus's free kick, which will have been a shot on target. Which he very nearly pulled from the keeper. Decent level of pass accuracy overall, although when we break it down into the individuals, it wasn't so much.
No.
Good to see Mason there, second on the goal scorer charts.
It's madness.
Considering he's not started a whole lot of games.
No. Well, I mean, that goal he scored today was same as...
He threaded it through a needle.
I know, yeah. But it's similar to midweek, wasn't it? He just hits it. We said hits it so early and so well. Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to put it there.
Yeah.
Right. Can someone tell us, is this stat real about him outscoring Messi? Please tell me.
I think it's mad. Someone said...
I can't believe that it's true.
Mason Greenwood has scored more goals from open play than Messi has this year. I don't believe it. I can't be right. But... might be.
I said in my fan camp with Devils...
Yeah.
This is where the lack of a squad comes into play. Because without players to bring on... We brought on Mason Greenwood, which you shouldn't have to bring on Mason Greenwood and rely upon him to do something, to do a goal. So John, can we get your fucking painting? I did see him today, so he's coming for it. It's gone, you can't have it. It's John's and Alex's. So the fact that we're reliant on Mason Greenwood to come off the bench is a bad indictment on this squad.
Yeah.
We brought Mason on and we went, right then.
Who else?
Right then.
Yeah.
But there's nobody.
No.
Now imagine the two that we're linked to is Haaland and Sancho in it. Now Ollie's got. I'm going to read the quote out in a minute, but that quote seems to be like from Ollie.
Yeah.
A mad one. So let's say we have Haaland, and let's say he started, or let's say he was on the bench, whatever you want. But let's say Sancho started.
Yeah. Now you've got
Martial or Haaland, and Dan James you could bring off the bench as well as Mason. Does that feel different?
Change the game.
Does that feel different? I think that feels different.
Yeah, and I said as well. I said people were questioning Ollie for his team selection today. They were like saying Luke Shaw had a bad game, William should have started, and then they should have said, well, Lingard had a bad game, and then you go, right, okay, but
so
who
should have started? Then?
And then you go, well, you put Mata on, who's
Mata would have gotten bullied because they was
custard.
physical today.
Then you've got Pereira,
who everyone's lost their mind on. When you say don't play Luke Shaw, which I've been saying, I think look at the comments of my preview where everyone's like, you're just up Brandon's arse.
And they say, Brandon, and for as much as I think Brandon's been great, it's still saying, does our, at the start of the season, first choice left back be rested for a 19-year-old? And you can't really say that would have made the game completely different, do you?
Fuck it, I'm all in on the agenda already, so we might as well keep going.
Yeah.
The whole left back has to be left-footed sort of thing. Well, Luke Shaw's mistake today, which led to their goal, was because he basically just passed it to Tom Davies with his right foot. Yeah. A right-footed left back
would have cleared it.
Oofs it, Peter Kay style. Have it. Rose Ed. Yeah. No fucking around.
No. We're back now to what we were after the Villa game, aren't we? Where everyone's saying the same comments, everyone's saying the same things again,
But I think in between, at least Ollie's had his reputation probably improved by going back-to-back wins against Mourinho, and probably saved his job, let's be honest.
Yeah, he did.
And Pep.
Yeah.
And I think he's probably bought himself the time to be able to go and make some signings.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at some of the defenders then. Actually, we've got Wan-Bissaka, I think, haven't we?
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka was outrageous.
I mean, outrageous. In that second half, when we started pushing up and stuff, they were always looking like they could get on the break. But Wan-Bissaka, the amount of times he broke things down, the amount of times he let the player get into the box to make a tackle was madness. How he just went, I'm going to get this ball, I'm just going to wait for this time. You're like, no, that's not the way it works, mate. Just do it before. He just, it was madness.
What you can't
Those
see
two boxes.
There's three there because there's 7, see, so there's 4 there. There's actually 3, so there's 3 right on the same spot.
Which you don't want to be given.
Any other player that goes to ground there has given away 3 penalties.
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka's made 3 fucking tackles. Do you know what? If he gives away 3 penalties this year, I'll let him.
Yeah.
Do you know what? You get that because you're so... How good is his timing? It's actually freaky.
Yeah.
Actually freaky how fucking good his timing is.
Ridiculously good.
Outrageous.
There was questions over his crossing again.
Got more crosses than Kyle Walker this season, I think.
Yeah.
Considering how much possession they have. Who else we got? Who's the other ones? I think we got Fredge. Let's have a look at Fredge. 89% pass completion. I thought he was decent today, Fred. There was a couple early doors that went a bit wayward. But do you know what it is with him? It's his shots.
Yeah.
He gets to the edge of the box and his shooting's just... You're like, at some point you go, maybe he actually is Brazilian. As well.
I was sure he used to be all right. I'm sure he took free kicks or something for Shakhtar. And now he can't kick a ball out.
We got so the chances that he created there.
There's a corner.
Yeah, it's right behind that camera, so we can barely see it.
There's a pull back there
to... But there was times where Fred would do really good stuff, really good mopping up, really good intelligent passes, and then it falls to him on the edge of the box, and you just go,
"That's a clearance."
You just think, Sometimes you really think he is Brazilian, and sometimes you really think I'm not sure he is actually.
No.
And the other one we've got to have a look at is Mason Greenwood. Let's have a look at Mason Greenwood. 100% pass completion, 1 chance created, 1 goal. Best player in the world?
Yeah.
Best player in the world.
Yeah. It's madness.
He did a top 1, innit? It's top 1.
He hardly touched the ball. He hardly got a chance to touch the ball and still got the goal out of it.
He's fucking class, isn't he?
Yeah.
Fucking dynamite.
Which is what we're lacking. We're lacking players that can create stuff out of absolutely nothing, which is what you need in teams that are going to sit back.
Stephen Stevenson, your parents have got a right sense of humour, unlike you, mate. It says our manager is simply tactically lacking against the lower teams. He's not good enough. Let me stop you there. Take a fucking pew. Right then.
Shall we?
Here's what happens. When you play against a big team, that is when you can put tactics in.
Yeah.
You don't go as tactically into a game against a smaller team. You can't come up with a tactic. Now, you can come up with styles of play and patterns of play. You can definitely do that. But you can't come up with a tactic to beat a low block. It's not a tactical thing. That's an individual thing. That's a flair.
It's not a tactic today for Fred from 30 yards out to put one in the top bin. No. That's not a tactical thing that you can change. That is, you need better players that can do that, which he's just not got.
There's a lad that was stood next to us. I was watching the fan cams being filmed, and he said, if a prime Paul Scholes played today, would we win that game? I said, yeah. Because he's
that kind of player.
The sort of player like able to play on the cuff, and they've got that creativity and genius. That's where those players carry you through a game. Yeah. Joey would have carried us through that game today. Paul Pogba. Yeah. If you would have played Paul Pogba instead of Jesse Lingard, I think you win that game.
You'd have got that goal.
Because he finds a way, because he's the sort of player that brings that sort of thing. Yeah. United just need better players.
Yeah, it's simple as. There's nothing we can do about it now. No. Like a half-time, people going about, he's not made the right transfers. I'm like, well, you can't change it now.
What are we? We've got 2 weeks. Just fucking suck it up for another 2 weeks. Yeah. Like that alone, with Sancho and Haaland alone, I think midfield first. Yeah, but if those two are available and want to come,
it's long-term, you have to go for it. Yeah.
You've got to bring them. Low blocks need aces in tight spaces. Yeah, I mean, the difference today wasn't that they played a low block. They actually played a high press.
No, I think for the first half an hour, that's where we've messed up today, not scoring. In the first half an hour, it was all over the place. We should have scored. But then once the game got going, as soon as they scored that goal, then they could sit back. Them two defensive midfielders.
I still don't think they sat back. What it seemed to me that they was doing is they got players behind the ball.
Yeah.
But the ball was that far back. They wasn't allowing it to come into the midfield. No. So Fred and McTominay was after going into our defensive line. Did you notice how they pressed our fullbacks?
Yeah.
As soon as our fullbacks got it, Iwobi was fucking sprinting at Luke Shaw, and the same was happening on Wan-Bissaka's
And that was the thing about Duncan Ferguson, someone that likes that Everton man was always going to get just put a shift in. That's what he was going to get them to do, and that's what they've done these last two games and done well out of it.
They've got the problem with Everton is they're a solid side.
Yeah,
they beat us. They took points off us with an own goal. My issue was always that they would never score goals. They was always going to be solid.
Yeah.
Everton had one midfielder on the field, that on a yellow too, asking for a prime Paul Scholes. Because this is what happens when a team doesn't want to entertain attacking you. I mean, they did attack us. Let's not pretend that they just totally sat off us. But they pressed us in a certain way. There's two teams in a game of football. Yeah, and so many times people just go, oh, like we were shit. Well, no, sometimes the opposition are good, man.
Someone slagged off Rashford. Someone saying Rashford didn't have a good game today. It's like, he didn't. But Seamus Coleman also had a very good game. Seamus Coleman's a good right back.
We didn't get the ball into the forwards.
And
show me the influence. This is a fucking prime example for it here. Right, it's right behind the camera. Does someone want to move the telly, please? Switch to the other camera and move this opposite camera. There we go. Right, you can move that camera now because we're on this one. Just move this camera. Just reframe that camera so it's about a foot that way. Right, so as you can see, we are holding possession with Maguire. I don't know what he's doing. Is he just holding the telly up? You're off your head. Right. We're holding possession with Maguire, Fred, McTominay, Lindelof, and the fullbacks. Yeah. Look at the entire forward line. James, Marshall, Lingard, Rashford. And is that Greenwood? Is that Greenwood like
the little
like 5 o'clock from Dan James? Yeah. Wow. And then with that,
look as well. Look how deep McTominay.
Thank you.
Look how deep McTominay is for that as well.
Yeah, well, look how deep the whole team is.
Yeah.
And that was because everybody had to come back. Yeah. Everybody had to bring themselves back because we wasn't able to thread the ball through. Yeah. I wish we had another game that we could compare it to, even a City game, and be able to show you that the difference when you're able to get into the corners. Very often we'll see our defenders are right on the halfway line. There's all sorts going on there behind the scenes.
Everything's being moved.
Let's see what's going on here. Yeah. I just wonder if the pace and explosiveness of James would work better as a second half substitute.
Definitely.
Totally.
I think long term that's what Ollie sees him as. But right now, where do you drop him for?
Well, if you had Sancho and you can bring on Sancho plays an hour and you bring on Dan James, lads, Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
How good is that?
But it's just not. You can't do it. I mean, you can't.
Should we have a look at the league table?
We have to.
Yep, we have to. We have to put
Can we
ourselves
do it from like
through
second
this.
down from now on? Like just
not recognise first place.
Yeah.
Can we look at the league table, please, gentlemen?
There it
Thank
is.
you.
It's going to be City 35.
Fucking level on points with Sheffield United.
Good team. Really good team. Not finishing 20th, no.
Oh, my fucking days.
Again, it was... People looked today like we could have gone to what?
2 points off
2 points off 4.
And I think they play Tottenham in the next game.
Chelsea, Tottenham, yeah.
So you could have seen us in top 4 for Christmas.
But that's not happening now. So Christmas is ruined. Look, I mean, it's going to happen. That's it.
Dare I venture onto Discord to see what Patreon are saying for the Patreon questions? Oh, there are some. Let's have a look. The first one is, this is going to go well. Tino says, how fitting is it that Mason scores on United's 4,000th game in a row with an academy player in the squad? It is meant that, yeah.
And people saying, like, oh, they've padded it. They say, oh, well, you know, the players that you've signed in and stuff, like Pogba's not really an academy. Well, he is to start with. But also...
The rules are quite strict on it, actually.
There
what
is.
Counts.
But also, if you say that, you'd be like, well, maybe another team got it. Maybe Ajax, a team that's... Ajax are like 2,000. So they're nowhere near. Barca, you'd say that. They're in the like...
Athletic Bilbao's is only half as long as in 1964 theirs is from. And
which
you
is
think,
how does that happen? Yeah. So like...
Considering they're not allowed to play anyone outside of their
That's
region.
the thing. When someone says it, oh, it's a long run, but when you actually put it in perspective of the other teams that you genuinely think of...
At the
academy.
end of last season, there was a table out for the consecutive games. We was obviously top. Everton, I think, a second. They're just shy of 2,000, I think, Everton, which is good still.
Yeah, still very good. But
I think theirs started in 1995 with David Unsworth, I think. If I've got that right, I'm fucking minty. And then after that, there's a couple, and then I think that out of the 20 teams in the Premier League, 12 of them were tied on 0. Which is mental.
Yeah.
And Cities will start and stop with whenever Foden
if Foden's in the squad.
Isn't in the squad.
Yeah, that's it.
Which I think has happened this season. So they're no more than a dozen or something.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
It's a run that I was worried about before when Jose was appointed. Like, is he going to continue this? We didn't know if Rashford was going to go on loan.
But Rashford stayed, played near enough every game.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's quality. It's unbelievable.
I'm going to just say, if you don't give a shit about that 4,000 record, why do you support Manchester United?
Yeah, that is what Man United is. That
is
exactly what Manchester United are.
More than 50% of our players. We've got to remember this. Manchester United, for however we are right now, we are England's most successful club. That's a fact. And for 80 years... We've had one of our academy graduates in every single matchday squad.
Which is ridiculous.
It's literally who we are.
Yeah.
Literally who we are. Right. Let's see how these go. If there's any repeat ones, I'm just going to skip them.
Yeah.
Why is Shaw starting over Brandon? I don't fucking know. When do we give Mason a statue? Thursday.
Yeah.
Time's up for Tony, says Clements. Can't make a striker's run if his life depended on it. Get Haaland in. I wonder... Do you think he's got the personality that will sulk and just fucking crumble if we did buy Haaland? Or do you think he would fight for his place and we'd have 2 fucking gunmen going for it?
That's what you'd hope for. That's what we used to do. Yeah. That's what good teams are doing.
And Ollie is the perfect guy to go, who got bench more than me?
Yeah. And that's what City are battering Arsenal doing now. They signed in Jesus and Aguero didn't go, oh no, that means someone else might play. They went, okay, well, I'll just be better than him.
Yeah.
And Haaland's got to do the same thing if he comes in. He has to be... You know, games like the City game, maybe Martial will start. That's a better game for him, where we're going to have a lot less of the ball. We're going to hit him on the counter-attack, need more pace. That's where Martial plays. And hopefully Haaland at 19 isn't going to spit his dummy out over that.
Right tool for the right fucking job.
But if you've got a team like today where you're going to have to start putting crosses in, because that's where they're going to leave you space, and someone, because he just got... There was never a chance he was going to win a header today.
No, and that's one of the annoying things, that if we can't play through that high press,
we don't have...
You can't go long because you're asking Dan James and Rashford to hold it up. It's like asking me to order a salad.
I think it was in...
It's not happening. No bueno.
94th minute, ball went forwards up to Rashford, and he didn't even jump for that. And you're like, someone went, "Oh, you've got to jump for that." I'm like, "Yeah, but he wasn't going to win it, though, was he?"
Yeah,
I mean, they're just not them players.
He just isn't going to fucking win it. Haaland was struggling in his team. I really disagree. I think I've seen the archetype of what Solskjaer's trying to do with a number 9 with Marshall, and I think you improve on that.
Yeah.
Would having a true number 9 helps in these games? Yes, Peter.
There you go.
What do I think of Dan James today? I think his ball is wasteful, really frustrating. I think it was one of them days for him. I think it was just one of them days.
Again, overall, I think it's that front three they dealt with it well. It wasn't their kind of game. They were always it wasn't one they could run in behind all the time. The first few minutes they would, but it wasn't all game that they did against City, which was just constantly getting behind and create chances. There was none of that.
Especially as later on they did sit back.
Yeah.
Loki, is Axel the man to partner Harry at the back? I don't think he's perfect just yet, but I wouldn't mind seeing it run in a game that matters.
Yeah, because Lindelof, I think there's a problem at corners at the minute. Big problem. Like the amount of times we're conceding at corners, and if we don't, it's utter chaos.
Yeah.
And I said it. You watch it back today. They have
everybody back.
Everybody back. Also, we have
what's Dan James doing? Unless he's got a step ladder.
So there's that, and then they leave 3 free, and the 3 free at one stage was Maguire, Lindelof, and I'm not sure who the other one was. It was 3 free and they're essentially on the 6-yard box to win the ball. But then the 2 people that jumped up against De Gea were being marked by Shaw and Fred, who aren't going to win it. Why is Fred there as well? Like, why is Fred the one marking people?
Fred and Shaw.
So I said, for as much as you can criticise Ollie for attacking tactics and stuff like that, this is the thing I'd be more worried about the fact that we're conceding from set pieces.
Special teams
and we're setting up badly, it seems, each time.
Yeah, do you know what I'm going to do with Stratford Paddock FC? If you're interested, hit me up on Twitter as well.
Mad set pieces.
Yeah, because why not? Because we're playing friendlies and stuff. It don't fucking matter. One of the things that I thought about last week, which I'm going to do for a corner. Now, for me, I've always thought attack is the best form of defence.
Yeah.
So, if I leave back 2 centre-halves, 1 centre-mid, and my goalkeeper in the box, and everybody takes up a position like it's a kick-off, firstly, the opposition are going to go,
what are you doing here?
Fucking hell's going on here, man? Secondly, if you've got a guy if you've got like a Vidic-style centre-half who's getting his head on that, you've now got an attacking asset. Now, if you manage to get a shot off that, what's the next corner going to be like when the opposition get one? Do you think they're leaving everyone forward? And now,
the only thing is if they take it short, that's the only worry.
If they take it short, you might be in the shit.
Yeah.
But you're gonna.
But you'd have maybe fullbacks there.
Yeah.
Leave them wide.
Yeah.
Give it a go. I've seen another one where
at
kick-off, you have only 1 back and have 9 running forwards.
And they have to mark it because they don't know.
So at kick-off, it just comes back to your centre mid or someone who's going to ping a ball, and everyone just fucking runs forward. You've got to give that a go, haven't you? See what happens.
Yeah, I'm going to also try and bring in
challenge for a header.
What's the one called in Mighty Ducks? The Flying V. We've got to try that as well.
It's going to be chaos, isn't it?
How much do these late subs affect our ability to keep the pressure on later in the game, and does it seem to be Ollie's biggest weakness? I thought they were good subs. I'm going to be honest with you. I think having more people to bring on.
Me and Ronaldo had a bit. He disagreed with Matta coming on for Dan James, and I said, look, these are sitting back. We're going to need someone to play that pass. There's not going to need to be. But then, fucking Matta, that last goal of the game, or last attack we had, where it came to him, and he just didn't. He had one more pass to Greenwood, and he's not done it. But it's like
we got one more. We got a super chat here on YouTube from Zachary, and he says, "Would like to see Haaland and another number 9." Get Tony and Marcus back to that left wing, start one, sub one, and switch every game. They look mint doing that. They did, but I think both of them are probably at the stage of their career where they're not digging that.
No, they're not doing that. It was different when Marcus was 19. And
was it 2 years ago that, really? I mean, it probably was 2 years ago, essentially now, because you got to have a Sanchez came in and prevented that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think that.
Who comes out of the team for Mason? Could be a number 10. Whoever's in number 10.
I don't know. They tried.
Can we go 4-4-2 with Mason behind him?
4-4.
We did today.
Yeah, that's what they tried. Well, they moved. Mason went over to the right, and it was Rashford and Martial through the middle with Dan James on the left.
I wouldn't mind that, Tried 4-4-2 with Mason off. Playing Watford next.
Yeah.
If you can't fucking line up like that against Watford.
They can't score. They're dreadful, weren't they, yesterday?
Perry, can we officially say Jesse shouldn't start games where we'll have 60% possession? I mean, how long have I been saying that? And I fucking love Jesse Lingard.
Yeah. He wasn't the one to take it. Like he wasn't bad, but that wasn't his kind of game today.
How long will it take till VAR is no longer in effect in the Prem and Maguire has lost his confidence on set pieces?
The VAR thing was weird today.
What happened with the one with Marshall when he come front line through in the box and Yerry Mina basically raped him?
Nothing.
What happened with that? That was a foul though, wasn't it? Because I saw that.
I don't know.
Like, that's a foul, surely.
A little bit soft, but at the same time, I don't know. It's just the thing is, it's just consistency more than anything. Like there's the ones not given today. The one on De Gea today was kind of like, no, he should be stronger. He didn't really do anything wrong. But you're like, there's so many that have been given where that's been given as a foul, where he's just jumped into the keeper. Mm. And there were people saying if De Gea had come out more and tried to claim the ball, it'd have been a foul.
Given a foul.
Like, but that's not the rules of football,
no.
Is it? But
was it an arm in the face? Was it?
Yeah, it was. I said it'd have been really soft. It was given.
What was the difference between that one and the one where Maguire got shoved in the back of the head by Pickford?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all.
Wan-Bissaka has nailed tackles in our penalty box. Should he now practically exclusive taking crosses? Maybe because he is. That is his deficiency in his game. And yeah,
but at the same time, we talked about it as well. Like, who's he crossing to?
Yeah,
like it doesn't matter how good a cross you've got. If your number 9's Martial and Rashford, unless it's a tap in. At the minute, there's no one challenging in the box.
Can Martial really play as a single striker? I think he can. I think Rashford's looked good with him being back in, but I think you can probably improve upon him as well. Or he could improve his game, one of the two.
I think there's a few I don't think his hold-up play was that bad today, Martial. It's just like as soon as they started anything in the air, they were dealing with. There was nothing that he could hold up there, but anything to his feet,
it was quality. I remember at one point just going, how is he good? That touch is outrageous. We've got a super chat on YouTube. How many midfielders do we need and what is the remedy to our situation? Well, we've lost... Might as well have lost Pogba. You've lost Herrera. You've lost Fellaini.
Might as well
have lost Matic. You probably should replace them. Now, you might be able to replace 2 of them with academy players, but you're probably going to need to bring in maybe 1 rotational player that's got experience, like a 25, 26-year-old. I can't think of enough of that. Maybe a Decore.
Yeah, someone like that.
And then maybe, I like, do you know the 3 players that we're majorly linked with in January?
Yeah.
I kind of fucking like all 3 of them. I guess it's 4. But we're not getting Maddison. So
no, the Maddison one's just not going to happen.
Maddison might be a summer thing, but if we brought, let's say, by summer, we'd brought in Sancho, Haaland, Maddison, and Niguez. You better watch out. That's fucking.
That's a team then. Yeah. You've got a team.
Yeah, I like that. Do us a flavour. Like the video.
Yeah, give it a like.
I'm not even going to ask you if you've got anything like if you're depressed because I fucking know you're depressed. Like it if it's cold outside,
which it is. Fucking freezing.
It is double cold, isn't it?
Yeah.
With a number of clear shots and goal, do you think it's about limiting mistakes? Yes. I think that's why they concede. Well, why we
Patrick
conceded.
said in our review before, he said, look, today, like 1 mistake from a corner from us, and we've missed a couple of chances. It could have easily been Lingard scores in that first minute, and that's...
Right at 4-0.
Right at 4-0, or even if we don't concede that corner, we get a late goal, or... it's just...
SPTL, do you think Ollie's having a hard time motivating the players?
I don't see it. I don't see it. No. You're wrong.
I hope that's a question, not implying that it might. I'm going to say no.
No.
Why are we not getting better at corners? Further to your point earlier, defending and attacking, we look terrible. You're a special teams coach.
We need something. There has to be something that changes in there.
What's the geezer called? Well,
there was that. There was a time where everyone was slagging off with Liverpool when they were doing zonal marking, and everyone just that was every Monday Night Football on Sky Sports was here's them zonal marking, is it not working? And we're doing that. It seems like we've got them people. It's kind of a blend of the two, but it's not working. So maybe something has to change in that department because we fixed the problem. The problem we said before was we've got no one to win the headers. We've got Maguire now. That's what he's there for.
And actually, Lindelof does win quite a lot of headers.
He does win. He's not most accurate with them headers, but he can win a header. We should be able to do it.
Should be able to.
Should be able to.
Killer, innit? Love the way we played at the start. Third man runs we're making unbelievable. Great build-up play. We broke down the low block with penetration from the room. So I think if Pogba, like we said earlier, don't we? I think we win that game very comfortably with Pogba in it. Yeah. Why do we struggle so much with corners? Again, a lot of people making the same points. Is all his inability to get a result against the other 75 his problem, or do you think it was signings? Signings. And do you know what? If we let's say we bring in that midfielder and Maddison, and we still don't get it, fine. Then maybe it isn't. But I think you have to see it. This is so Louis van Gaalish, and Louis van Gaal's team lacked that ability to do that. And then Jose got Pogba.
And we started to
Fall FC happened, didn't it, for a little bit? I think that was once Lukaku came, actually, but either way. Draw okay considering the big dunk wave, but why does quality drop against shit teams?
It doesn't drop like I said. You have to go through your midfield against these teams, which against City you can bypass the midfield almost. It can just kind of go one pass straight through.
Cameron here with a great comment. With such an obvious lack of creativity in midfield, is there any excuse for not playing Dylan Levitt more often, even as a sub? Seems to me that if we'd signed an older player of his profile with the current level of ability on the ball, that player would start every week. You might be right. The fact he's a young is piss poor reason to be stuck with a stagnant double pivot every week like Pogba, while Pogba's in the stands texting Zidane, hashtag Dylan Levitt Ultras. That's comment of the day, that, mate. I like that. And Matt saying, if I could mention the fact I've had to close the questions due to so many people disregarding the rules, that would be great. They simply didn't read the innumerable warnings that I've amassed. Obviously, our Discord group has swelled with the news of Sancho this weekend, which we posted yesterday. It's over 1,000 in our Patreon group now. And some people are still getting used to the run of things in there, which, to be honest, so we, because we used to be able to just post stuff straight into the Patreon app, but leakers, as usual, ruin things for everyone. So we've had to go through additional layers to try and prevent that information getting out and keep it private for everybody. Yeah. If you are interested in signing up, then go and check it out in the link in the description. And see what the script is. I've got another super chat there. Let's have a look. Mkhitaryan could have been that 10 we needed. Mkhitaryan was that 10 we needed. Yep. He just personally didn't fit in with everybody else.
He didn't fit in with Mourinho's team either.
He told Mourinho to fuck off. Yeah, which is probably always going to end the same way.
But you could have he could have, if he'd have been. There's a lot of players that Mourinho got rid of that would have fit in well with this team. You know, Daley Blind would have probably done all right in this team.
Yeah.
Mkhitaryan would have done all right in this team.
That was it. We had a team semi-assembled by 3-4 different managers.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen.
Ollie has to be allowed to assemble his own.
Yeah.
What was going to do? Oh, we got to have a look at the bet, haven't we? So, as I said earlier at the start of the video, this was brought to you guys in partnership with the Betfair Exchange, and we had a look at what would have won. Obviously, at half time, we thought we'd have a quick look, and this was what it was. So, at half time, if you'd have gone with the draw and decided to bang it on in play, we was looking at around about. It was 3.95, so a tenner would have returned you £39. I'm going to be honest. I was looking at 4-1.
Yeah, you're not going to back 1-1, are you? You're not.
I'm just saying, I was looking at 4-1. Now, obviously, that didn't come in either, but there you go. If you was interested, that was the crack. We did win on our lay bet. We'll probably do another one in the coming weeks.
And that's the thing with the lay bets is there's more chance to win. The odds aren't as good. But
no, people get a bit scared when you're looking at a lay bet because they go, hang on, my liability is that and my only win that. Yeah, because you're being the bookie.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. So you're looking at something that you think won't happen and then going with that. As always, make sure you're over 18 if you're going to be gambling. For more information, begambleaware.org. Thank you guys for tuning in. Give the video a like. We'll be back with 5 things we learnt tomorrow, which is a pretty popular series, I would say. There's all sorts of stuff popping off, so make sure to subscribe. Right away throughout the Christmas period, we've got all sorts planned. So I'll see you in the next one. Laters.